Once, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young man named Arjun. He was hardworking, kind, and full of dreams. But he carried a heavy burden, a constant feeling of inadequacy. Everywhere he looked, it seemed others were achieving more, doing better, and living brighter lives. Why can't I be as successful as Ravi? Why can't I be as talented as Meera? He would often lament, comparing himself to everyone around him. One evening, after a particularly discouraging day, Arjun visited his grandfather, a wise old man who lived in a small cottage at the edge of the village. His grandfather was known for his simple, yet profound wisdom, often shared through stories. Seeing the sadness in Arjun's eyes, the old man gestured for him to sit by the fireplace. "Tell me, my boy, what weighs so heavily on your heart?" his grandfather asked gently. Arjun sighed. "I feel like I'm not good enough, grandfather. Everyone else seems to have it all figured out, but I'm just stuck. I don't measure up." His grandfather nodded thoughtfully, then stood up and walked to the window. "Come here, Arjun," he said. Outside, a fierce storm was brewing. The wind howled, and the rain lashed against the trees. In the distance stood a mighty oak tree, its branches swaying but holding firm. Beside it grew a slender reed, bending almost to the ground under the force of the wind. "Look at those two," his grandfather said. "The oak stands tall and proud, unyielding in the storm. The reed, on the other hand, bends and sways, seeming weak in comparison. But tell me, Arjun, which one do you think will survive this storm?" Arjun thought for a moment. "The oak, of course. It's strong and unshakable." His grandfather smiled. "Watch and see." As the storm raged on, the oak tree's branches began to crack under the pressure. Its rigid strength became its downfall. Meanwhile, the reed continued to bend, swaying with the wind, never breaking. When the storm finally passed, the oak lay shattered, while the reed stood tall once more, unharmed. "Do you see now?" his grandfather asked. The oak compared itself to nothing but its own idea of strength. It believed being unyielding was the only way to survive. But the reed understood its own nature. It didn't try to be the oak. It embraced its flexibility and found strength in its ability to adapt. Arjun stared at the scene, a realization dawning on him. "So you're saying I shouldn't compare myself to others? That I should find my own way?" "Exactly," his grandfather replied. "Each of us has a unique path, Arjun. Your journey is yours alone. Comparing yourself to others is like the oak trying to be the reed, or the reed trying to be the oak. It only leads to frustration. True strength lies in understanding who you are and embracing it." From that day on, Arjun began to see things differently. He stopped measuring his worth against others, and instead focused on his own growth. He discovered talents he never knew he had, and found joy in the small victories along the way. Over time, he became a source of inspiration for others in the village, not because he was perfect, but because he had learned to embrace his imperfections and grow from them. Takeaway lesson: life is not a competition with others. It's a journey of becoming the best version of yourself. Like the reed, find strength in your uniqueness. Stop comparing yourself to anyone else. Your story, your struggles, and your triumphs are yours alone. Embrace them, and you'll discover a power within you that no storm can break. So, take a step today. Look inward, not outward. Your path is waiting, and it's more beautiful than you can imagine.